That was the fastest lap of the race. Keep this up. Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
They've done it then, here at Suzuka. A brilliant win on this beloved figure-of-8 circuit. Aston Martin continue to put the pressure on. The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team.
Good day today. Let's have your take on it. Solid performance out there today, Casper.
Pleased is quite a strong word. The team is happy, but I think we're strong enough right now to be getting those podium finishes more regularly. I had my chances out there today, but it didn't quite work out as I would have liked.
The fastest lap again, Casper.
Well, I think it's a sign that the team have got a lot more to offer than people assume. They got the tyre strategy spot on again, and we had the right tyres at the right time, so all credit to them really. That extra point is always welcome, and we couldn't be happier.
Those points bring you a little bit closer to Alfa Romeo.
Absolutely. We're into the business end of the season now, and we want to climb as many places as we can. Right now, that means catching Alfa Romeo. So, anytime we can put the pressure on a little, that's good for us.
We asked Devin Butler.
I think it's my job to prove him wrong.
Great. Well, that's everything.
Fellas! Sell-out crowd, they say. Casper, I haven't seen you since you announced your retirement.
No.
Well, fair play to you, mate. Takes a brave man to admit he can't compete anymore. I didn't mean it like that.
Okay, Casper, you're doing great. Let's keep this up.
Is Butler ahead?
Butler, you're closing on him. No theatrics, please, Casper.
Yeah, understood.
The gap to the car ahead is 2.4 seconds. Devon's currently in P9. P12, we have P12. Gasly ahead. Less than a second separate you. Sainz is behind you. Okay, the gap behind is 2.2 seconds. They're on fresh hards. Our gap to first place is 37.4 seconds. Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound. 7 laps to go. Currently P11, we're currently P11. Ocon is ahead of you. Gap to car in front is 1.7 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Gasly is behind you. The gap behind us is 1.0 seconds. They're on fresh hards. The gap to the leader is 34.9 seconds. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. 7 laps to go. Devon is a couple of places up on you. Aiden is coming in for his stop. Butler ahead. Okay, gap ahead is 9.2 seconds. The time last lap was a 1 minute 45.0. We're in 10th position. Giovinazzi is ahead of you. They're on fresh softs. Ocon is behind you. The gap to the car behind is 1.5 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. The distance to the leader is 28.6 seconds. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. 6 laps to go. Devon sat in P8. Devon is directly ahead of you. Okay, you're in the top 10. Butler is ahead of you. Our gap to the car in front is 2.6 seconds. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 3 laps old. The time last lap was a 1:46.3. We're gaining by 5 seconds a lap. Great work. You're closing in on Devon, Cass. Let's put the pressure on. We have 5 laps of fuel remaining. Okay, clear. Nice move. Good job. We're starting to catch the car in front, but we need to look after the tyres. We won't be making another pit stop. You're sat in P8. Leclerc is ahead of you. The gap is less than a second. They're on fresh softs. Butler is behind you. Our gap behind is 2.8 seconds. They're on old mediums. Okay, gap to leader, 20.2 seconds. Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound. 4 laps remaining. Aiden ahead. The gap to the car ahead is 3.8 seconds. They're on fresh softs. Their tyres are 1 lap old. The time last lap was a 1:45.0. There's 3 laps of fuel remaining.
Watch this. See? See what happens. Let's see, my girlfriend. Chickens. Lightning. 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 Chickens.
We have 2 laps of fuel remaining.
Chick, pick, chick, pick, pigs, chickens. Chick.
This is your final lap of the race. You have P5, P5. Verstappen ahead. Gap to car in front is 10.3 seconds. They're on old softs. Norris behind. Okay, the gap behind is 3.6 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Our gap to first place is 16.6 seconds. This is your final lap of the race. All right, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
Unbelievable.
Well, this season promises to end in quite the dramatic fashion. The tussle for the top continues, but in the midfield, Aston Martin very much closing the gap on Alfa Romeo.
Both teams have had a terrific season. Butler and Jackson rumoured to be in the running for that open Mercedes seat too. Can't wait to see how it all plays out.
If you're anything like us, you won't want the season to end, but end in post. From here on in, every second of every lap counts. What a riveting season it's been. After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of some...
Oh, wait.
So that was an exciting race from our perspective. Let's have yours. Yet another victory over rivals Alfa Romeo today, Casper. And
Well, yes, and rightfully so, in my opinion. We've had our eye on fourth place for a while now, even when others have written us off. We're working tirelessly to make every second of every race count, and it's right that that's reflected in the standings. We know what we're capable of, and we know we can do it.
your retirement grows ever closer, of course. Is that something you think about?
Yes, of course. It's easy to take a race for granted when it's all you ever do. But when you only have a certain number of races left, each one takes on a greater importance. I think my retirement has allowed me to enjoy my racing a little bit more and I'm grateful for that.
Are you looking forward to your retirement?
I'm not much of one for sitting still. I've got a couple of my own projects I've always wanted to pursue, and now I'm going to have the time to do that. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Great. Well, that's everything.
The roar of the crowd can only really mean one thing. Race day has arrived here in Abu Dhabi. It's time to join our teams who are getting ready down on the grid. We have 21 corners here at the Yas Marina circuit, 12 to the left and 9 to the right. It's a total lap distance of just over 3.4 miles. There are 2 long back straights opening up some passing opportunities into the braking zones. And we expect average lap speeds of around 123 miles an hour. Aston Martin could still catch Alfa Romeo today, but it's a pretty tall order. And are you still surprised they are where they are?
I am, to be honest, yeah. When you look back at how they finished last season, the fight they had in Canada, the antagonism on and off track, these two really weren't getting on. I think a lot of people, myself included, had written them off.
Well, they've been nothing if not surprising, the Aston Martin pair. Of course, neither driver may be with them next season.
Yeah, it's Ackerman's last race today. I'll certainly be sorry to see him go. And they say Jackson and Mercedes are in talks, so who knows?
Well, Mercedes continue to be cagey about that open seat for next season, claiming that no decision's been made yet, and they'll see how this season concludes first. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Perez, Pierre Gasly, and Fernando Alonso. Leclerc, Butler, Norris, and Carlos Sainz. Tsunoda, Ackerman, Aiden Jackson, and Giovinazzi. Mazepin, Ocon, Daniel Ricciardo, and Mick Schumacher. Latifi and George Russell ends our grid lineup. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out. Then let's see who can prevail today. Plenty of overtakes on this man Ackerman today, and here's another one to chalk off. This guy shouldn't be retiring from Formula 1. And what's happening here? It looks like Giovinazzi's retiring, and I'm not sure what the issue is, but there's a potential opportunity here for Aston Martin, as it seems that Devon Butler's been left alone to see off the competition.
And he's not having the best of days, Crofty. A few mistakes creeping in here and there, a few lockups. This race isn't over yet.
The gap behind us is 1.8 seconds. You're lapping quicker than Butler now, Casper. Outstanding work. We've got a chance here.
Roger,
Let's make that push. We're all behind you.
I'm on it.
Devon's currently in 6th place, P6. You're in 9th position, Ocon ahead. Okay, gap ahead is 3.0 seconds. They're on old mediums, not... Good job. That was the fastest lap of the race so far. Butler not far ahead now, Cass. Keep on it. Butler ahead. Our gap to the car in front is 3.6 seconds. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 1 lap old. The time last lap was a 1:50.4. Devon is directly ahead of you.
So Aston Martin potentially on track to really upset Alfa Romeo here, with Ackerman leading Butler and Jackson not too far behind. Butler's closing in on Ackerman, he's trying to win that place back, but which way's he going to go? Down the outside he goes, and they hit each other! That's really aggressive from Devon Butler. He sends both cars spinning out, Butler into the barrier, and that looks to be the end of the race for him.
Too late on the brakes. I'm sure the stewards will be looking at this one after the race.
But the Aston Martin car's still moving. The Dutchman looks to be continuing out.
It's great to see him still in this fight, Crofty, but he has suffered significant damage. There are points up for grabs today, though, don't forget.
Well, that is significant. But can Casper Ackerman's Aston Martin car finish?
The data that says suggests the car is compromised.
That's fine. I can finish it.
Butler's out of race.
Butler's out of shock. Jackson's closing past Casper.
Okay.
You need to go for third, eh?
Okay. Third. What about Casper?
What wheel it in? Pass.
Let Aiden pass. Do the best you can, Casper. How's the car?
Will you give a message straight?
You need to pass Casper, Aiden.
Copy.
He says you'd better get on that podium.
That will get the team fourth.
Maybe, if Casper's car holds out.
I guess I better get on that podium then.
We're sat in 6th. Leclerc ahead. The gap to the car ahead is 3.9 seconds. They're on old hards. Casper behind. Less than a second separate you. They're on fresh mediums. The distance to the leader is 21.8 seconds. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. 8 laps to go. Perez is ahead of you. Gap to car in front is 4.9 seconds. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 3 laps old. The time last lap was a 2 minute 14.5. You're taking 2.5 seconds out of them each lap. Okay, gap ahead is 1.6 seconds. That was the fastest lap of the race. Keep this up. 4th position, you're in 4th position. Bottas ahead. Our gap to the car in front is 2.2 seconds. They're on old mediums. Perez is behind you. They're on old mediums. Okay, gap to leader, 9.1 seconds. Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound. 7 laps to go. Verstappen is ahead of you. The gap to the car ahead is 6.6 seconds. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 4 laps old. The time last lap was a 1 minute 56.8. Check your MFD for a new strategy. You're lapping quicker than Butler now, Casper. Outstanding work. We've got a chance here.
Roger.
Let's make that push. We're all behind you.
I'm on it.
P10, you're in P10. Norris ahead. Gap to car in front is 2.9 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Gasly behind. They're on fresh mediums. Our gap to first place is 21.3 seconds. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. 11 laps to go. Devon's currently in 6th place, P6. Butler not far ahead now, Cass. Keep on it. P7 now, P7.
Butler is ahead of you.
Okay, gap ahead is 3.4 seconds. They're on old mediums. Signs behind, they're on old mediums. The gap to the leader is 17.5 seconds. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. There are 10 laps to go.
Devon is directly ahead of you.
The gap to the car behind is 2.1 seconds.
So Aston Martin potentially on track to really upset Alfa Romeo here, with Ackerman leading Butler and Jackson not too far behind. Butler's closing in on Ackerman. He's trying to win that place back, but which way is he going to go? Down the inside he goes, and they hit each other. That's really aggressive from Devon Butler. He sends both cars spinning out. Butler into the barrier, and that looks to be the end of the race for him.
Too late on the brakes. I'm sure the stewards will be looking at this one after the race.
But the Aston Martin car's still moving. The Dutchman looks to be continuing out.
It's great to see him still in this fight, Crofty, but he has suffered significant damage. There are points still up for grabs today, though, don't forget.
Well, that is significant. But can Casper Ackerman's Aston Martin car finish?
The data that says suggests the car is compromised.
That's fine. I can finish.
Butler's out of race.
Butler's out, we have a shot. Jackson's closing fast, Casper.
Okay.
You need to go for third, Aiden.
Bobby, third. What about Casper?
Wheel at 8 pass.
Let Aiden pass. Do the best you can, Casper. How's the car?
Straight.
You need to pass Casper, Aiden.
Copy.
He says you'd better get on that podium.
That will get the team fourth.
Maybe, if Casper's car holds out.
I guess I better get on that podium then.
Our gap to the car in front is 4.0 seconds. P6, we have P6. Leclerc is ahead of you. The gap to the car ahead is 4.0 seconds. They're on old hards.
Casper is behind you.
Our gap behind is 2.1 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. The distance to the leader is 21.6 seconds. Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound. 8 laps to go. Great work. That's a new fastest lap of the race. We're in P4. Bottas is ahead of you. Gap to car in front is 2.3 seconds. They're on old mediums. Perez behind. The gap is less than a second. They're on old mediums. Okay, gap to leader, 9.1 seconds. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. 7 laps to go. You have P3, P3.
Verstappen ahead.
Okay, gap ahead is 6.5 seconds. They're on old mediums.
Bottas is behind you. Less than a second separate you.
They're on old mediums. Our gap to first place is 7.2 seconds.
That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. 7 laps to go.
Gap to teammate behind is 8.7 seconds.
Here's Aiden Jackson. Is he gonna be a first championship for him? And is he gonna catch up to Max Verstappen? And what if he says, oh no, he won't? Yes, he does.
That puts you into P2, second place.
Now Aiden Jackson. Is he gonna catch up? Here comes Aiden Jackson. Down in Max 3. He's got a slipstream. And they both touch. And Aiden Jackson is in the lead.
Good job. That was the fastest lap of the race so far. You are in first position, front of the pack.
Hamilton is behind you.
Okay, the gap behind is 2.9 seconds. They're on old mediums.
Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound. 5 laps till the end.
There's 5 laps of fuel remaining. You're leading the pack, P1.
Hamilton behind.
The gap behind us is 5.4 seconds. They're on old mediums.
Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. 4 laps remaining.
There we go.
There's 4 laps of fuel remaining. You are in first position, front of the pack. Hamilton is behind you. The gap to the car behind is 9.3 seconds. They're on old mediums. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. Just 3 laps to go now. 3 laps.
We have 2 more laps to go. Just 2 more laps to go before the last lap of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix.
You're increasing the gap to the car behind by a few seconds per lap. Keep this up. There's 3 laps of fuel remaining. You're leading the pack, P1. Hamilton behind. Our gap behind is 16.2 seconds. They're on old mediums. Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound. 2 laps left. Next time by will be your final lap.
And we crossed the line, and then we're gonna start the final lap. Here we go, listen to race energy. This is the final lap.
This is your final lap of the race.
We start the final lap, 1.72 seconds.
Superb effort, mate. Well done. Just brilliant. Woo-hoo!
And they've done it! What a season this has been for Aston Martin. Even a race or two ago you wouldn't have believed it, but they finished fourth in the Constructors. If the rumours are to be believed, they'll be reluctant now to let young Aiden Jackson go. What a talent he's proved to be, and an incredible end to an incredible career for Casper Ackermann, who somehow found his way back into the race after that nasty scrape with Buckler. What a race here in Abu Dhabi.
Cheers, mate. Casper! We did it.
We did it. Have you seen the pressure?
No, what happened?
Now I'll let you see it for yourself.
And Buck's okay?
Anyway, I just want to congratulate you. Video phone farewell.
Stay for it. No. Come on, what are you going to do? Listen,
And now the Aston Martin drivers, Aiden Jackson and Casper Ackermann, are now to celebrate with the crowd.
Brian, when have I ever let you down? You really want me to answer? Best not. Hey, it's been a pleasure. Now the pleasure has been mine, Brian. Heck of a career you've had, Cass.
Casper!
And I think you'll want it.
Casper! Casper!
Listen.
For heaven's sake, man, get out there. You've earned it.
We did it, guys. We did our chapters all the way to 16. And now we completed our back in F1 2021, like, we just did all the, you know, the story mode Breaking Point has 16 chapters too.
16 chapters? You did them all?
Yeah, we did it from 2020 season all the way to 2021 season.
Damn, 16 chapters?
Yeah, because that's called the story mode called Breaking Point. Because they have
16 chapters.
So the Breaking Point has Aiden Jackson, they have Casper Ackermann, and they have Jim and Devin Butler. Because those guys are on the chapters. Those guys are on the story mode Breaking Point system.
Gonna be doing a lot of that in the summer, huh?
Which one? The chapters on the career mode, right?
Yeah, on the deal. Or whatever they got to do, right?
That means I can do all of the chapters on there, on the story modes on the F1 2022 on the career mode, which is the all the way from Bahrain to Abu Dhabi.
Oh, cool.
You were talking about this summer about me doing all the chapters on F1 2022.
Yeah. They have fun to do all that stuff.
You know, like, you know, it's better because they have like 23 races in there. Because if you do like all of those, if you do 23 races, that means you can get a lot of points for doing the full Grand Prix. Yeah, you know it can be better for me if I can do the full chapter too. That means I can do all the way into Abu Dhabi because it would take time to do all of them too.
Yeah, it will. It's going to take some time.
Because you have to keep doing practice sections and races and qualifying sections.
You will.
You know,
in a little while we'll go walking by Foster Beach, you know? And then we'll go there. What you gonna want for lunch, you know?
maybe that. Maybe Little Caesars.
Little Caesars? Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, you know I can just talk to my friend Morgan about me doing all the chapters on F1 games too.
So board game.
Yeah, you can just talk to her about me doing all the chapters. We did our chapters. That was a good season. It was not that too much good.